Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell and to check out the join membership option.
So, welcome guys to this video. This is my voice. If you want to, you can give me feedback in the comment section on whether you can understand me or I speak clear enough. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for nearly 3,500 subscribers, for all the support so far. I really appreciate it. The Gear 4 video will be uploaded as a 4,000 subscribers special, matching to the subscriber count. Therefore, keep on supporting. Now, let's get right into the video on how to create a Kagune. Oh, and before I forget it, don't forget to check out the join member option and to subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video and share it to all of your friends. Alright guys, first of all open up ROBLOX Studio and open up a place in which we will create our Kagune. Now, we will also need this plugin here, Rig Edit Lite, and the default ROBLOX animation editor. Now if you have these things, you may proceed with this video. Next step is to insert a part, then insert a special mesh into it, then change the mesh type to sphere. Now, adjust the scale to whatever you like. Just keep in mind that the z-axis makes it thicker or thinner, and the x-axis longer or shorter. Alright, now give it a color, a material, and you're good to go. Now we have something like this, duplicate it and form your Kagune out of it. As you've just noticed, I'm using ROBLOX Studio to create the Kagune. If you want to see a tutorial in which I'll explain how to do or create a Kagune in Blender, leave a like and write down a comment in which you suggest that type of video, so I can see if you guys are really up to watching one. Alright guys, so this is my Kagune. I know that it looks a bit too basic, but I think that the focus is on scripting because most of you guys are probably not scripting and just building or animating or doing other stuff. That also might be the reason why you guys even clicked on this video. Alright guys, so give every part a single name to have things more organized and to keep all of those single parts apart. Now create a folder and name it to whatever you want. Then place all of the Kagune parts inside of it. Then go to plugins and select the rig builder. I think that the rig builder comes with the default ROBLOX animation plugin. Then select R15. Alright guys, so as you can see, this Kagune seems a bit too big for our dummy right here. That's the reason why we will scale the Kagune a bit down in order to work with it. Alright, so now it looks fine, I guess. I will be rotating the Kagune to add some more variation to it to make it look a little bit more cooler. Now, place this inside dummy and go to plugins, go to this rig edit plugin. Right. Now, open your dummy, select the lower torso, then select the first part of the Kagune. So it looks like this, 1 and 2. Click on create joint. Now, go to 1 and 2 Kagune, and create another joint, go to 2 and 3, create another one, and repeat it with all of the other parts, 4, 5, and 5, 6. So everything should look like this. Now, these yellow dots are your joints, and you have to move them way I do. So move this one right here, move this one right here, this one here, right. So this is how we should do it. Now, after it looks like this, you can leave out of this plugin, then you can get to animating. So open up your animation editor, click on this rig. Now let's make an idle first. As you can see, you should be able to move this part around as you desire. So reset this one. Alright, so what you're gonna do now is just make a idle animation. I'm gonna make a very unique one. You can stick to it if you want to, or you can just make your own one. think that I'm actually gonna make a new animation. I actually think that I'm going to leave the player as it is. I'm just going to be touching the Kagune right now and will be animating that one instead of the player itself. Alright, looks perfect now. So make sure that the animation is looped and the animation priority is set to movement. Then go to export and export it. And save the animation ID you'll receive somewhere, because we'll be needing it later when creating the animation and giving it the animation ID. What you want to do now is add the Kagune inside the replicated storage. Then go to starter pack, insert a local script and call it Kagune. Inside of that local script, insert a script and a remote event. Call the script Kagune server. And call the remote event Kagune remote. Yeah, then let's get into the local script first of all. So what this local script has to do is it will detect when we press a certain key. I think that I will be picking the Q key. So once you press Q, your Kagune will appear. And to make it appear, we will need to do the following. So first of all, you actually should get the remote. The remote. So this line right here gets the remote, and we press to this remote right here. We should also get the user input service. This is a service which is responsible for detecting the user's input. For example, when user has pressed a key or clicked his mouse or whatsoever. So once an input has begun, So once an input has began, we get the input, so the key or the mouse button which has been pressed, and GPE, game processed event. We just check if that input was not while using a GUI or while interacting with the chat or whatsoever. So if not GPE, then if our input .keycode is equal to anim.keycode.q, then we will print Kagune appears. Now let's test this out. As you can see, it prints on this thing out. Right. So we also should create some kind of cooldown by creating a bool right here. Then checking whether this thing right here is false, which it is by default. So if it is false, then we will enable it. Enabling this right here means that we'll fail to check right here. Therefore, this code right here will not be run. In order to make it pass the check again, we will need to make this false again. So this is how the cooldown works. This wait 1 right here will wait 1 second before turning this back to false again. So the 1 in this case is our cooldown time. You can set this to 2 or to 1 or whatsoever. Now, also in this case, we should have a value which indicates whether the Kagune is equipped or not. Set this to false, and now let's refer to our remote event. Bypass servering. If we would try to make the Kagune visible on our local script, it would only work for us, for the client. But we want to make it visible to everyone, to every player. That's why we will need to work with remote events and scripts. So this is all caused by the filtering enabled option, which is to prevent exploiting and stuff, but that's not a topic. So should do this Kagune and the Kagune value right here itself. So if the Kagune is false, then we will set it to true. If the Kagune is set to true, then we will turn it to false. And to understand what this does, you will need to first of all know that. So if there's no Kagune equipped by default, means false, then we want to equip one. Therefore, we will check whether there's one equipped. No, there's no Kagune equipped. Then we will turn this to true, indicating that we want to equip one. And this thing right here will go into here, and this will go into here, and this will cause the Kagune to be used, to be equipped. Now if we press Q another time, while this thing is still set to true, it will go here, see that it is not false because it is set to true, then come here, and else means that it is not false. So it comes here and is being set to false. This goes to this again, which leads to the Kagune to be unequipped. So that's the scripting behind of it. Now let's go to the script right here. Then copy this one, then add it to here, and insert a parent because the remote is the child of the local script. Now once the remote event was fire served, then the player is being passed automatically. The value is this thing right here. It can be considered as a task and tells the server script what to do. Then we have the value 2 right here, which indicates whether the Kagune should be equipped or put away. If our value or our task is to deal with the Kagune, then and if the script is told to equip the Kagune, then and if the script is told to unequip the Kagune, then so what should happen when a Kagune is being equipped? First of all, the Kagune should be cloned inside the player's character. Then an animation should be played. We do that by creating an animation inside the character and loading it through the humanoid, then playing it. We need to create a motor 60 in order to attach the Kagune to our player. The part 0 is the part to which the Kagune will attach to, in this case our lower torso. The part 1 is the first part of the Kagune, the part which will attach. Now, there are several things which went wrong. First of all, the Kagune's animation works, but somehow still affects the player. The other thing is that the Kagune is on the wrong side. But anyways, I will be dealing with those issues now. Alright, so let's do this thing right here. Angles, right? So let's see if this works. Yeah. So there's still some kind of issue with the animation, which I'm going to be fixing. And we have to move the Kagune a bit back. So let's do so. C frame, new. Wrong axis, I guess. There we go. So we also rotate it to the a bit to the right. Well, I think that's also okay as well. So let's turn this off. I will now begin to fix the animation part. For those purposes, clone the Kagune inside of the dummy. Attach it via plugin. After you're done with that, open up the animation editor to create the new animation. Once you're done, make sure that the priority is set to movement and the animation is looped, then export it. To be honest, I'm still not satisfied. I think that I'm going to integrate the Kagune idling animation instead of the ROBLOX default animation script, so the animation will automatically play when the Kagune is equipped. To do so, hit the test button and copy the animation local script inside of your character. And put it inside of this. We'll get back to it later. We first of all need to do some stuff before. I will now deal with animating for the final time. Okay, this one fits as animation in my opinion. Now, the other thing we have to do is we need to create an int value inside of the character once the Kagune has been equipped. This int value indicates that the Kagune is equipped and will make the idle animation play inside of that ROBLOX default animation script. Yeah, so we can delete this thing right here. Let's get into this one. So now we gotta alright, so of character by child being equipped, then and else. So what we will do is we will look for this value which only exists inside of the character when the Kagune is equipped. So if the Kagune is equipped means this value can be found. We will play a specific idle animation for Kagune. What we need to do now is we need to add the Kagune idle animation ID the way I show you. We need to add it here at this spot. and its height and end value as well. Add this animation to it. I mean, add this animation ID to it, and should work. Expected. No, oh. So as you can see, the specific idle animation is being played once this Kagune is equipped, which is actually pretty cool, because otherwise we'd have to stick to the boring ROBLOX default idling animation. So, alright, what we also could do is could make this invisible, and then tween it later on so it turns visible once equipped, so it has some kind of transition or some kind of effect to it, so it looks a lot more cooler than just cloning it to the character and making it visible, which is boring. So, can you get children? Do now, the part transparency is 1. Then we will be working with the tween service. So, tween service create part tween info new. Actually not absolutely sure. Set this to okay, so we want to, which should take 0.5 seconds. Should direct out, should be linear. Direction, no, this has to change. So, style, direction, repeat count, false, and 0 again. So this is our tween. We'll make the Kagune turn invisible, make it look a lot more cooler than just basically placing it to the player's lower torso. So, as you've just seen, looked kind of better. Right, so that's to attaching or equipping the Kagune. Now we should script the part where Kagune is being unequipped. Alright, so to do so, we should first of all check for the this value right here, because this is the thing which decides whether the default animations or the default idling animation is played or the specific Kagune one. Therefore, we should first of all look this thing right here to delete it, of course. So if this is still inside the character, then we will delete it. The other thing we will need to deal with is this thing right here, but should first of all make the Kagune turn invisible again. And press child, Kagune 1, this is 0, this again. Kagune should be destroyed after 0.5 seconds, about 5 seconds. Then we should remove this thing, 6D, name Kagune, so the character, the child, or torso, find first child, Kagune, then remove it, of course. Alright, so that's it, I guess. Let's check. This works fine. Perfect. Alright guys, so I will be leaving a link to the model in the description. And if you want to see a part 2 of how to make a Kagune with attacks, or maybe more complicated ones with 2 tails, maybe, I don't know how to call these things, but maybe 2 of them, like one here and one on the other side, or a very complicated one, then leave a like and comment that you want to see that kind of video. So guys, see you in the next video.